Hello and welcome back to Focus Atlanta again. I am your host, Keisha Lanslin. Thanks so much for continuing to watch. We're going to shift the focus on you just a little bit, and we're going to go green. I'm going to tell you about Black Girl Environmentalist with founder Wawa Gatheru.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored.
I gotta say, I'm honored. After reading about you and all of the work that you've done, I'm so excited to learn more. Tell me a little bit, start at the beginning for me. What is Black Girl Environmentalist?
Yeah, so Black Girl Environmentalist is a national supportive community that's dedicated to empowering Black girls, women, and gender expansive individuals across environmental disciplines. We know that the climate crisis, it's real, it's happening. However, oftentimes, while folks of color are experiencing the brunt of environmental injustices, we're amongst the least represented in climate and environmental leadership. So we are working to help resource and empower that next generation of Black women, girls, and gender expansive individuals so that they can help actualize their potential as climate leaders and help really the entire ecosystem of the climate movement, which directly informs the rest of our lived experiences.
I've got to say, just going to the website, I felt empowered, right? Because I guess when I think about issues with the environment, often we feel like there's nothing that we can do. We don't really have a voice. We don't really have a say in how this goes down. It's just, going to happen around us. But going to your website made me feel like, what, I do have a say. There is something that I can do. Tell me a little bit about what you want your followers to do and how you want us to stand up and become a part of the fight.
Yeah, I think the most empowering thing we can do as individuals is to come together as a collective. Right, there's this conversation around whether or not individual or collective action is more important, which one we should focus on. The reality is collective action is made up of many different individuals making the choice to make a difference and coming together. So I'd say that's the number one thing, and finding different ways to get involved, harnessing our unique skills and talents. The things that I'm good at are likely going to be different things than what you're good at. And that really strengthens our movements, right? Because if we have a collective that is empowering all different types of people, then having people share and showcase their unique talents and skills really builds a cohesive, robust movement that is, big enough and robust enough to solve an issue as big as climate change.
And it is a huge issue. Are you still finding that you're having to explain that to people? How are you getting past that barrier that people feel like, there's not much we can do about it. We just gotta, hold on and see where it goes?
I would say, history gives us so many examples of people deciding to make a difference, deciding that the systems or the powers that be that are creating circumstances that aren't always right for all of us, seeing them as wrong and deciding to correct them through, organizing and through coming together as robust, huge movements. So I'd say there's so many examples we can look past in history, whether it's a civil rights movement, whether it's a suffrage rights movement, and we can really see that people have come together and that movements have been successful. With an issue like the climate crisis, to answer your question on whether or not I received pushback, not so much. I think when I was younger, sometimes people would be like, well, you're, the eco girl that loves to talk about climate change and the environment. But we really are living in a world where we really can't turn away from the circumstances we're experiencing. The past 3 summers have been the hottest recorded summers in history. And it's only, day 3 or 4 into the summer, and we're already experiencing heat waves across the country, right? In ways that we didn't grow up with those circumstances. So there are changes that we're seeing, and it's really important for us to be active participants in our society and to see ourselves as being capable of coming together and really informing policy not just from a national level, but on a local level as well.
I gotta say, you have a believer in me. Like I said, once I went to the website, I was totally inspired and just grateful for the work that you're doing. So please, can we close out with you giving your website so that others can go and become inspired as well?
Of course. So folks can check out Black Girl Environmentalist at our website at blackgirlenvironmentalist.org.
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for the work that you're putting in on behalf of all of us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I cannot do it alone, right? We've all got to step up to the plate. We've all got to get into this fight. Please go to the website, learn a little bit more. You never know how something that you do in your personal, individual life could make a big impact. So take the opportunity to learn how you can step up to the plate. And stay tuned to more Focus Atlanta. We'll be right back.